Hello, everyone. So sorry I'm late. I clicked something wrong on my thing and I couldn't get my camera to come on. I'm sorry. I'm a little bit late. Okay, and it's been crazy. I kind of put this card together like super fast, so we'll see how this works. I had an idea. I wanted to use the wave of inspiration. And so I kind of got online and got some ideas, and my inspiration came from Amy Kay, is her name. And I wanted to change it up just a tad, so I kind of made my own little design here. So we'll see how this works because I kind of put it together when I got home tonight. My name is Debbie Singleton, and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and I want to welcome you to my Monday Night Lives. It's a little bit late, so we'll kind of get started. Hope everyone had a great weekend. Here in Arizona, it was great weather. We had a great time. It was beautiful out. This week it's supposed to be a little bit warm, which we're getting into our nice warm hot weather, but it was great. Had a nice weekend, so enjoyable. Enjoy it while we can. So when we always took vacations, we went to San Diego, and so hi Stephanie, thanks for joining. So we went to San Diego, and so when this stamp set came out, it gave me a great idea because we would go on the beach and walk around, have a great time. And one time my daughter got almost bitten smack with a pelican. This stamp set was pretty funny. So I saw this, and everybody has been using this stamp set with the beautiful waves and the oceans and stuff. So I kind of wanted to do it a little bit differently, and I just wanted to use the pelican sitting on a post. And this stamp set, we as demonstrators got to use it and got to play with it for a while, but it'll actually come out May 2nd for everyone in the brand new catalog. But I kind of wanted to not use it with the ocean scene, and I kind of wanted to use it maybe with the beach scene, and I couldn't figure out how to do that. And I'm driving home and I'm thinking, I don't know, how am I going to do that? So I actually grabbed, I don't know that it's in the new catalog. So I think it might be retired, but I used it with the oceanfront stamp set to kind of give it a little bit of a beach theme and see if we can't do that. So we'll see how this works, but it does kind of make it. So I used it a little bit with the waves of the inspiration, a little bit with the oceanfront kind of combination. So I made it a little bit different, but it it was kind of fun to kind of mix them and work them in together. And then at the last minute, I was like, it needed a little bit of kind of like sun at the top. So I'm going to do it in reverse and not make it the line at the top of this one. So hopefully the card we do tonight won't have this little line at the top. Hi, Mom. Nice. Thanks for joining. So this is the card we're going to do. So I did all these colors more in the muted brown tones, beachy tones, rather than the bright blues and stuff like that. And then I made the You're Totally Awesome, which is in the Waves of Inspiration. So the Waves of Inspiration has really nice sayings in it, and then it has this little wave, and then it has this little pelican he sits on here. It has a happy birthday, and your strength is an inspiration. Then also, only until June in the catalog, you can get as a bundle, you get all the dies. But when the new catalog comes out, you can still purchase the stamp set, but you have to purchase the dies separately. But then with the dies, you get, of course, you can cut out the little waves, and then there's clouds, and then you can cut out this is what I cut out the little saying with. So, I mean, it's actually a really cool set. And I haven't thought if I wanted to do the waves and then mess with that. So actually the card turned out actually kind of cute. So anyways, so I just used our white paper, and then I used the soft suede as our undertone paper. So my table is a little messy because I just put it together tonight. So let me switch you so you can actually see my table and not me. But thank you so much for joining me, and I appreciate that. Let me switch this around. Like I said, I don't know what I did when I got here and switched something around, and I couldn't get my table, my camera working. So our card base, you can do it so that it works this way and you open it up this way. But I ended up that I liked it just open this way. So if you do that so it opens this way, you make the paper so that it's 4 1/4 by 11 and then score it at 5 1/2. So I did it this way. So it's 5 1/2 by 8 1/2, and I scored it at 5 1/4. So that's what our base is going to be. And then this piece is soft suede and 5 1/4 by 4. And then I used the texture. I left it on my table so I could tell you. It is the embossing folder, painted texture 3D embossing folder. Just to give it a little something, and it's a little kind of crinkly. You probably can't see it but it gives it just a little bit of texture to it, so it makes it kind of nice. Gives it a little bit of background, so it's not just quite so plain. Hi Heather, thank you for joining. And then this is 3 1/2 by 5. I think I decided I cut it as. Yeah, 3 1/2 by 5. So I'm going to do the sponging color first to give it this little sunset so that you don't have this crazy line. Because what I did is I did all the other stamping and then I put a piece of paper so I didn't color on him. So that's why there's this crazy little line. So we're gonna color first so that we don't have that crazy little line there. So to do that, I'm going to take my Daffodil Light. So we have a little bit of sunset in the back. And since let's see if we can get some of the other darker color off. And then, yeah. I'm going to stamp on here, get some of the color, kind of get off first, and then rub on there. I just want some color in the background, just to give it so that it's not quite so white. And it kind of blotched the other one, but again, it really doesn't matter. I just needed a little bit of something, so it was an afterthought. But it didn't look too bad. I just didn't like the line. Looks a little bit better with not having that little diagonal line on there. But that does look better. So, and you can make it as light or as dark as you want. Go down as far as you want. It's going to be a sunrise or sunset, whatever you want it to be. And then we're going to add just a little bit of golden color to it, and that will be the Mango Melody. That will just kind of give it that little bit of that golden color in there. That looks better, much better to have just that little. I like that. Okay. That's all. It just gives it that sunset or sunrise or whichever one you want it to be. And then I took I think this looks like the sand part out of the oceanfront, and I couldn't get it to get down there, so I ended up stamping on top. So, and I did this in, since it's kind of sand, I guess. So I stamped this way so that it'll stamp a little bit more evenly. But I guess sand doesn't really, it's not really even anyway, so it didn't really matter. But it seemed to work better by me pressing. Oops, I'm not in the camera, so sorry. So I'm pressing, and rather than me going this way. And this is crumb cake. Man, it always gets some on there, so I just took my baby wipe and I just kind of got that off so that it doesn't get on my paper. Figure out how I wanted my sand, direction I wanted it to go. I think I had it go this way, I think. Just press down. See, and it just did not stamp quite enough on there. And I think probably if I used a piercing mat, that would probably work better. But then I stamped the little, I don't know, I guess cattails they might be out of the ocean front as well. So stamping on top of that didn't seem to, I kind of took that away. Where's my granny apple? I used granny apple green. And sand is kind of, anyways, it kind of fades when you're out in the sand anyway, so it doesn't matter. Hi, Sarah. Thanks for joining. So I just did a couple of these little guys. And that kind of covered that up too, so you don't really tell anyway, so stamped on there. And then I stamped our little again, I did the same technique because I think it stamps better if you stamp him like so. I don't seem to get quite as much all over the place. You stamp it like this. I got some on the edges. So I'm going to take my baby wipe and get it off my edges because I don't want to stamp that on my paper. I didn't get near as much on the edges. Okay. So then I'm going to stamp him. Yep, that looks so much. I liked him. Like I said, he just looked like the little guy that his beak isn't open though. And then I used my dark Daffodil Delight and I just colored the beak just a teensy bit. Bam, that's it. That's all I did. Colored just a little. And then there's also these little birds in the Ways of Inspiration. So I figured it needed something else up here. So I just dotted a couple of the birds. sure those like that. And then I liked the "You're So Totally Awesome," so I already cut out this from our little, I really like this one. And it fits perfectly. So let's see if I can stamp again across there. And I used our soft suede. So let's stamp on there. And okay, look at that. And I used our twine. I had this, it's wrapped around one of those little posts. So I just thought this was a cute little idea, and I just wrapped this around a couple of times. I just took it and I just wrapped it. Just wrap it like so. Yeah, sort of. It worked the first time. But you know, when you're live, it doesn't want to cooperate. Literally, that's all I did. Cut it because it's going to go behind. And look, it just looks like it's hanging on there. Okay, and it stayed for me before, but of course now it's not. I suppose I could tie it and then it'll stay. Huh? Didn't have to tie it before, but now it's just not cooperating. Okay. Just make it a knot so it'll just stay there for me. There. Okay, and then do the other side. Really? I just wanted it to look like that. I just wanted it to just kind of like be all over the place. There we go. It just looks, this one didn't want to do that. Yeah. Fine. And then put it on the back of this card. So I put it kind of just kitty corner, so it didn't really cover up much. And I just put it on the back with our glue dots. Now we'll take a glue dot. Okay, and I want to make sure that's kind of where I wanted it. This one will be kind of right here. What is going on here? Something got stuck to the end of that. Probably another glue dot. All right. Find another glue dot. There is a glue dot on the end. All right. There we go. Oops, you got covered up just a tad, but that's okay. Didn't sit on there as quite as pretty as that one. All right, now we're ready to glue it on. Get this glued on here. And then we're ready to crease this, give it a nice little crease, and then glue this on. We are done with our card. Wow. It was an easy card. I just love the pelican. Like I said, just made, and there's so much more you can do with this card set or this stamp set. But I just want to, and you could put that up there instead. I mean, you could do so many different colors. You could, and then I'm going to put some jewels on there. So there are jewels, and most of the jewels were blue, but there are green ones, and I stamped the green set, and so I was super excited because I think these are Granny Apple Green, but it does go. And so I put a jewel on here, and I thought that actually made it pop just a little bit, gave it our little added touch to it. So yeah, we could probably glue that down so that it would fit just a teensy bit better, but I'll worry about it right this second. So there is our card, ladies. I think that turned out pretty cute. Feeding the puppies. They need to be fed, don't they? Well, thanks for joining anyways. You got to see the finished product and how it turned out anyways. So, but yeah, again, I'm super glad, and that does look better without that line there. So it does all blend a lot better. I'm working a little bit more with the blender brushes. I haven't blended very much, so thank you. I'm glad you liked my card, Heather. I'm so glad. So yeah, thanks, Mom. I'm glad you like it. So I will pick another card for next Monday. I thank everyone for joining me, and we'll see what comes up next week. We're getting close to Mother's Day, so I'm thinking maybe I'll try and pick up a Mother's Day card that we can all look at and do. So I hope everyone has a great week. Enjoy your week, and we will see you next Monday. And have a great day, great week. Talk to you later. Bye-bye. Enjoy.